for our cows. It's a big part of what we do and what we love. Putting cows first. That's what this symbol stands for.
Well, I love my cows. I love being able to walk through the herd knowing that they are happy and they're comfortable. I'm Jared DeYoung. I'm a barn manager at Rosegate Dairy Farms. We're a family-run operation in Abbotsford, BC. I'm the third generation to be milking cows here. It started with my grandpa and my dad and now me, and I'm very proud of that. Do I believe that my milk is the best milk around? I believe that all milk in Canada is the best milk around. In Canada, we have very strict quality as well as labeling requirements for milk. Quality assurance programs such as CQM ensures the highest quality milk delivered from the farm all the way through till it's on the kitchen table. The best part of my day is at 7, 8 o'clock at night when I can take off the coveralls and walk through the barns. I can see the fruits of my labor for the day, and I can watch the cows just enjoy it. I love my cows, and we just take care of them and make sure that they're well looked after, and they look after me by producing high quality milk. I take a lot of pride and a lot of joy in being able to farm and work with cows every day, and I hope I can pass that on the same way it's passed on to me.
Welcome to our farm, Boismou 2001. Denise and I have been the owners since 2001. We have a herd of 140 cows with about 60 milking cows. We have approximately 600 acres of land. We doubled the land area in 2009 because our girls were showing interest in farming with us. We also expanded the barn and in 2012 built a heifer barn. We're continuously buying quota. We want to increase the herd until we reach 100 kilos a day. As you can see, the next generation is female. Over the last few years, we've been changing the way we do things, mechanizing a lot of our operations to remove as much of the physical labor to make it easier for our daughters. 3 years ago, I planted 15-foot wide buffer strips along the streams of our farm. It prevents soil compaction in the center of the field since we mainly drive on the buffer strips during planting and harvesting. I planted hay. We cut it 3 times a year and we make round bales to feed the heifers. It's a good use of land and it protects the streams. It's been roughly 10 years since we started using no-till. and it's the only way we've been planting crops since 2006. It saves us a lot of time and fuel, and the investment in equipment is fairly minimal since it only takes a seed drill. It also helps to protect the environment and support the development of soil biodiversity. On our farm, we grow a lot of cover crops and green manure. This is fall rye that I produce from my own seeds and which I reuse. It saves me a lot of money. It feeds my earthworms, and as you can see, there are a lot of burrows from them. Their excrement enriches the soil, and this helps to feed my crops. It helps the soil, and it cuts my chemical fertilizer use by 25%. Since more than 60% of our income comes from the dairy barn, we make sure that our animals are as comfortable as possible. We switch our old mats for water beds. It has increased our cows' comfort and milk production. We also replace our metal stalls with plastic ones. It gives the animals more room to move since they aren't separated by metal poles, thus reducing the risk for injury and being more forgiving to the animals.
We are now in the calf nursery, which was built in 2008 to make calves more comfortable. To reduce the workload, we installed an automatic calf feeder. It frees up an employee because they can feed themselves. The calves go into the feeder and the system automatically reads a chip inside the animal's ear to determine whether the calf can drink or not and to find out how much it has already drank.
I've been involved with several associations over the past years. The Olsen Club and the Vente Classique Sale is one of them. Recently, I've been active with Le Club Action Semi-Direct, the No-Till Club. It's a great place for producers to get information, exchange ideas, and share the results of all the new things we've tried. This prevents us from making the same mistakes or wasting money, and it creates a social network with other farmers.
Bedding makes a difference. There are many different combinations of housing and bedding used by top dairy managers today. When trimming hooves, it is important to tailor the trimming technique to the specific barn type and kind of bedding used. Cows need regular exercise in order to prevent lameness. Exercise comes from walking in loose housing and freestall alleys or going out to an exercise yard for several hours in the day. Cows also need to stand to eat and drink. They may be standing on concrete floors, slatted floors, rubber mats, or mattresses. Hooves must be trimmed to accommodate where the cow will stand and walk during the day. After all, you wouldn't wear flip-flops to go hiking up a mountain, and you wouldn't wear high heels to go for a long walk on the beach. Here are some examples of different bedding and how to tailor your trimming technique. Sand bedding. Sand is lovely to lay on, but is abrasive and will wear hooves down quickly. Sand bedding tends to create the greatest wear on the toes and around the outside of the hoof wall near the white line. Sand is also dry and does not stick to the bottom of the hoof or between the claws. For cows on sand bedding, it is important to spend time trimming the sole of the hoof until the toe touches the floor. For compost pack. Compost packs are growing in popularity and provide a comfortable loose housing option. As the bedding material composts, heat is generated. This heat helps to keep the pack dry, however, it also softens horn material in the hooves. Hooves will wear down along the white line around the outside of the hoof. For cows on compost packs, trimmers shouldn't allow the concave shaping on the sole of the hoof to become too pronounced, and it is also important to shorten the toes. Shavings. Sawdust and wood shavings are dry and therefore do not stick to the bottom of the hooves or between the claws. Cows standing and walking on shavings will wear their hooves along the white line and around the outside of the hoof. If the bedding is allowed to become too wet, it will also soften the hooves. For cows on wood shavings and sawdust, it is important to focus on the concave shaping of the sole and ensure that the toes are not left too long. Straw. Straw is perhaps one of the most commonly used bedding materials in Canada. It composts well and is readily available on many farms. Straw bedding can become damp, and this reduces the hardness of the hoof. Straw will also stick to the bottom of the hooves and between the claws. A clump of straw left between the claw will strain the ligaments and tendons in the foot as the claw is constantly held open. For cows on straw bedding, it is important to focus on the concave shape of the sole to allow the foot to flex while walking. Be mindful of the softened horn material to avoid injury at the time of trimming. No matter which bedding type is used, always focus on the concave shape of the hoof. This will provide traction on slippery surfaces and help the cow to achieve proper weight distribution.